thing on? It just spins. I think it's on. Today's song is called Stars Align. I literally just pick by the name of the song anymore. I don't even listen to it. Just like, well, this is what the composer was trying to get at. It's the line in the stars. Aaron! What is up, everybody? Welcome to an... I know! It's on, Aaron! It's so good to see you! Robin Everly! What is up, my brother? What is up? Sunday morning! Yeah, it's like our friends. I mean, that's what church was, right? Like, you just come together and you're like, oh, it's my friends, and we're going to think about happy things together as friends. And then leave it to the church to ruin it. The organization ruins everything. Just like capitalism ruined Black Friday. Remember when Black Friday used to be fun? People were murdering each other in the aisles of Walmart? Not anymore. It's great to see you, Aaron. Who knows when Black Friday is anymore? Who knows? I think it's Black Friday right now. They ruined it. They ruined it. You know why? Why everybody ruins everything? Money. Money. That's how the church ruined church. They have to pay for their big fancy buildings. Oh, all right, everybody. Let's this part. Faith, what is up? How are you today? It's great to see you. I think I'm just going to let Stars Align play out. It's got like 30 more seconds. Why not? It's cheerful. It's fun. What do you guys want to talk about today? I brought my vitamins. I thought we could talk about vitamins. Do you guys you never shopped on Black Friday? It's the funnest thing. It used to be. It was fun. You'd get up at 5 a.m. It would be pitch black. Nobody would be there. There, Stars Align. That's a lovely little song. That's a lovely song by unknown artist even. The guy doesn't even want to take credit. Stars Align, but an unknown artist. That's nice. Yeah, so you would get up at 4:30. You would not shower, of course. I mean, that's cheating if you shower. You would get up at 4:30. You would throw on the clothes that were on the floor from the night before. Your family is sound asleep. You're the only insane one of your family. And you head out into the dark. And everything is quiet. And everyone is asleep. Not a mouse was stirring, not even a mouse. Not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. And then you would make your way towards the shopping center of your town. And slowly in the distance you would see a faint glimmer of light. And you would get closer and the lights would get brighter and the lights would get brighter, and then you would get there and it was packed with people. They had been standing out since the night before. You're like the loser getting there at 5 o'clock in the morning. You're the loser. Everybody else, they brought a tent. They stayed and they were in line. They had their coupon for their like $200 TV at Best Buy. And man, the doors would open and you would just rush in. You grab everything. You'd get your little USB thumbstick hard drives. You'd get your $10 printers. You'd get the lucky people would get the big TV because they had their coupon. And you would just grab and yell at people and be like, that's my USB thumbstick. No, it's mine. And it was fun. It was fun. And then one day, some jackal of a greedy bastard decided to open up stores on Thanksgiving. And then who knows when, and then I was like, I'm out. I think it was that one day where people literally were getting murdered in Walmart, which incidentally for me only made it more interesting. Like, you know, it's like the fentanyl user that hears that the local drug dealer is giving out fentanyl that kills people, and you're like, oh, whoa, his stuff kills people? Sign me up. Same thing, Black Friday for me. Exact same thing. I'm like, wow, the sales are good enough to kill people over? Sign me up. Sign me up. It did not deter me. It made me want to go more. I don't know. But now I don't even look at the ads. The sales are weak. The whole thing is a mess. So I don't know. They've been schlepping the same junk on Black Friday for the last 10 years. It's like garbage parts that they found on the warehouse floor in China that they threw together to make about 5,000 TVs. And they sell them for $199. You know, it has like one HDMI port. They forgot to put in the cable jack outlet. The remote control doesn't have a volume switch. You know, it's crap like that. I got all that. I don't need any more of that. I'm good. Are you guys good? Do you like the weekend? Do you enjoy getting... Okay, let me ask you this. Are you looking forward to Thanksgiving? It's going to be, I think, a different Thanksgiving for everyone. I know it is for me. We bought the Bob Evans. We bought the Bob Evans family feast. Feast for 10 for 3. It's like literally for 10 people, there's 3 of us. Actually, there's 5 of us. So I live in a duplex. My in-laws live below us, which has actually been really nice during COVID, because if they had lived alone, I really feel like they would have been very isolated. We don't like spend time, actually long stretches of time together in each other's houses or apartments. But we had some nice picnics this summer, and we have 2 dogs and a cat, and they come down and annoy Barb and Earl all the time, and I think that's good for them, you know, and they give them little treats. My animals are getting so fat. Like, literally, they're getting fat over it. But whatever. Look, it's good for my in-laws. So, at any rate, we're going to get the Bob Evans feast for 10 for 5. And it was very expensive. It was like $150, which is a lot, obviously. And especially considering turkey is 49 cents. But you don't have to cook it, and you get a lot of different things. There's 2 pies, there's some banana bread, there's mac and cheese. Rocky's concerned that the stuffing is going to be too good, like with actual stuffing and stuff in it. So she's just going to get some stovetop, because, you know, stovetop literally is the best. And they're probably going to mash real potatoes. We probably should get some boxed potatoes. I mean, that stuff is good, right? Am I right? The stuff is good. The freaking boxed mashed potatoes. All I ever wanted from my mom was once in a while make some freaking boxed mashed potatoes, and she never did it. She always mashed them by hand. So yeah, I like the boxed mashed potatoes. She likes the stovetop stuffing, which I'm down with. So, between the two of us, you get 49-cent turkey, you get a box of stovetop, a box of dehydrated potatoes. Maybe you pick up some rolls on the way out. You got a $5 meal for 30 people, and I'm happy. But nobody's coming over. So what we're going to do is we're going to divvy up the family feast. Part of it's going to go with my in-laws and part of it's going to go up here. And we'll eat separate. I think we'll eat separate. And, but we're able to see each other, and even a little bit of social connection means a lot. I'm going to tell you something I did that I'm sort of embarrassed by. Don't tell the governor, but I freaking went to IKEA yesterday, man. I went to freaking IKEA, dudes. I drove an hour and 40 minutes from Akron, Ohio to Columbus, Ohio to pick up an emergency desk. I mean, I literally went into Franklin County that is purple to pick up a desk. And not only did I pick up a desk, you should not come anywhere near me because I'm probably like typhoid sage, COVID sage. Just call me COVID sage. Not only did I go to pick up a desk, but I literally went in to IKEA and walked the whole route. Have you ever walked? You got to follow the arrows. It's like a 5-mile walk. It's so big in there. You can literally walk IKEA once a day and get all the exercise you ever need for life. It was packed. Okay, it wasn't like Black Friday packed. I've been there when it's really packed, but I'm telling you, busy. And one of the reasons we went on Friday night was because we thought, or Saturday night was because we thought it would be slow. Boy, were we wrong. Everybody was picking up emergency shelving, emergency silverware organizers. We all had emergency items we had to pick up at IKEA in Franklin County. And then it hit me. We weren't there to pick up desks and organizers and shelves and tables and couches and chairs, oh my. We were there to be with people. One of the greatest gifts of working with homeless people is I get to see true humans stripped away with all the bullshit. All the bullshit is gone. All the houses and cars and clothes, and I get to see what a real human is. And a homeless person is nothing other than a pure human. We badmouth homeless people. We look down at homeless people. Oh my gosh, all these it didn't describe. Okay, hold on. You should do this more often. I do it. Well, I do it every Sunday, Faith. I'm sorry, I missed it didn't scroll. I'm sorry. People like people fighting over toilet paper. I have a small family so we can legally all be in one place. That's nice. Yams. We don't get any. Okay, that's nice, Faith. Yum, 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 yum. My favorite holiday. I cook like a fiend for 2 people. That's awesome, Aaron. I'm thankful Joyce and I have home this year. That's our Thanksgiving. That's beautiful, Robin. I'm thankful for that, too. Taking meals to those who cannot get out to cook for themselves, too. Yeah. We bought full meals from a local restaurant. We're delivering to camps on Wednesday, says Thomas. Genius, Thomas. Aaron says, I'm from scratch all the way kind of lady. I like it. The Hawaiian rolls. How did the Hawaiians realize how to cook a roll properly? How did they do it? Those Hawaiians, woo! I better make sure I got Hawaiian rolls, for real. Those things are the bomb, the bomb. So Thomas, you're going out, you bought full meals at local restaurants and we're delivering to camps on Wednesday. That is wonderful. Robin says, I miss my mom's 24-hour salad. What the heck is a 24-hour salad? Do you have to eat it for 24 hours? What is that? Tell me more, Robin. So what I've learned about homeless people is that they are just exposing what a real human is in very black and white ways. One of the things people complain about homeless people is the trash. That was the thing that people that was the thing people complained the most about, the trash. And I spent a ton of time cleaning up trash. And Robin can attest to it. We were constantly moving trash, cleaning trash. We had a big dumpster that we dumped twice a week. And we did a pretty good job. But when you are homeless and you're out in the woods, you don't have a dumpster, you don't have a trash can, you don't have a frickin' garbage bag. And so it becomes, what are you curious about, Faith? I'm sorry, there's like a delay. Like, so I say something and then like 2 minutes later I see your comment and then I forget what I said. But I want to know. So people, that was what people would say. They couldn't get anything on me except the trash. And I will say early on, the trash was horrendous. I didn't have any trash service. I was taking it home. And it was a nightmare. But that brand stuck with me even after we got really diligent about the trash. And so they would always, got real bad really fast, says Robin. Yeah, Robin lived there. Robin's mom, yeah, 24-hour salad. Yeah, oh, yeah. Robin, Faith and I want to know about this 24-hour salad. Tell us more. So it was a brand that the city could throw at us, like there's all this trash. And there definitely was in the beginning, but not for most of it. But so people can throw that in my face, but I don't know if you have been awake for the last 20 years, but trash is a global problem. And my 16-year-old son right now is doing a report. Actually, they're doing PowerPoint now. Like, you have to learn PowerPoint. You're like, or slides, I don't know, Google Slides or whatever. And he has to pick a ecological issue. And what he is picking is the Great Atlantic Garbage Patch. Do you know this thing? Clarabelle? No barky. Okay. The North Atlantic Garbage Patch is an area of man-made marine debris found floating within the North Atlantic Gyre. I don't know what. Originally documented in 1972. It's not like it's a new thing. It's like it's been around for 50 years. Based on a 22-year research study conducted by Sea Education, the patch is estimated to be hundreds of kilometers across with a density of more than 200,000 pieces of debris per square kilometer. The source of the garbage originates from human waste traveling from rivers into the ocean and mainly consists of microplastics. The garbage patch is a large risk to wildlife and humans through plastic consumption and entanglement. There have only been a few awareness and cleanup efforts for the North Atlantic garbage patch, such as the Garbage Patch State at UNESCO and the Ocean Cleanup, as most of the research and cleanup efforts have been done for the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, a similar garbage patch in the Great Pacific. Okay? So guess what, homies? We are all throwing our trash around. The only difference is, because we're rich, we throw it in the ocean so we don't have to look at it. But we're no different. They're no different. If they had homes, there wouldn't be that much trash out. Exactly, Aaron. But my whole point is, we are all garbage monsters. The homeless are doing nothing different than what you and I are doing, but on a global scale. We are killing the planet with our garbage. And you take 10 homeless people, I walk you into the back of the woods, and I show you a camp that hasn't been cleaned up in decades, and you're outraged. Not you, I'm the proverbial you. Some of you might be outraged. And there is a garbage patch in the ocean, thousands of kilometers in squareness. And that's just that. You know, do you know what's going on right now with recycling? Recycling is just a lie. We're boxing up our garbage and sending it over to poor countries that buy it from us. Let's see if I can find a picture of that. Countries that are buying American recycling. Let's see if I can find you this. Google's amazing, isn't it? Okay, here you go. You remember this? Is this the end of recycling? Americans are consuming more and more stuff now that other countries won't take our papers and plastics. They're ending up in the trash. After decades of earnest public information campaigns, Americans are finally recycling. Airports, malls, schools, offices. We're helping. We're putting things in another trash bin. In some cities, you can be fined if the inspector discovers you haven't recycled. But how much of that carefully resorted cycling out in the trash? For decades, we were sending the bulk of our recycling to China. What do you think they were doing with it? We threw it in. We made China our garbage can. Tons and tons of it sent over on ships to be made into goods such as bags and shoes and plastic products. But they weren't. Last year, the country restricted imports of certain recyclables, including mixed paper, magazines, office paper, junk mail, and most plastics. Waste management countries are telling towns and cities and counties there's no longer a market for their recycling. Not a market for it. You can't sell it. Most are choosing the latter. We're just throwing it away. We're doing our best to be environmentally responsible. We can't afford it. We can't afford to be environmentally responsible, says Judy Milner, and every homeless person ever. We would like to clean up our trash, but we can't afford it. They're saying the same thing. I didn't think I was going to yell at you today. I don't know what I'm ever going to come. I opened up this camera. Who knows what's going to come out of my mouth? Since 2010, Franklin offered curbside recycling, encouraged residents to put paper, metal, plastic in their green bins. Program launched, Franklin could break even, selling it for $6 a ton. Now, Milner told me, the transfer station's charging the town $125 a ton to recycle, or $68 to just burn it. Literally, they're burning it. Do you know how homeless people sometimes take care of their trash? They burn it just like you do, except you don't have to get your hands dirty with it. Ugh. 1/5 of Franklin residents live below the poverty line. The city government didn't want to ask them to pay more for recycling. So all those carefully sorted bottles and cans are being burned, just like the homeless do. Milner hates knowing that Franklin is releasing toxins into the environment. There's not much she can do. Not much she can do. Plastic is not one of the things we have a market for. If you can't sell it, there's nothing I can do. Do you feel me? Do you feel me? What I'm telling you is the only difference between a homeless person and us is you can see their humanity. And we have shipped our humanity to China, and now China won't take it. Do you get it? We are no different. Like zero difference. In fact, we're probably worse than homeless people. But yet somehow we find it in our soul to condemn the homeless person. This portion of the episode is brought to you by vitamins. Get your vitamins, ladies and gentlemen. Do you guys take vitamins? I truly believe that vitamins should be, our trash is just more organized than houseless folks. That's right, Brandy. That's all it is. We live a lie. We live in suburbs that are all manicured lawns, but and painted, shiny cars, but inside we're all drug addicted alcoholics beating our family and doing terrible, terrible things to our families. Yeah, aren't you? Rocky asked me if we are doing that. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be starting after this show. I'm going to start shooting up drugs and getting drunk and then beating people. It happens. Rocky's so funny. You can't, not everybody's life is a lie in the suburbs, but I'm telling you that manicured finish is just covering up something. I believe vitamins should be paid for by your insurance company. I take vitamin C. Do you guys take vitamins? I'm taking vitamin D, vitamin D3, I don't know. Gummies. No, I don't do the gummies, actually. These are Rockies. I do B complex. I do B complex. And I do my vitamin D. She likes the gummies, and who doesn't? But I'm cheap, and so I like to just do little pills. So this is vitamin D3, 625% of my daily value, 125 micrograms. It does not contain wheat, gluten, dairy. It's got some extra virgin olive oil in it. Do you believe in vitamins? Can you afford vitamins? Is there anybody out there, C and B12 apple cider gummies here? Oh, really? Nice. I do not take vitamins, though I should. Do you think so? Does anybody here believe that vitamins are a hoax? Like, I don't believe that the studies are conclusive that they help. But I suffer from, what is that, SAD, seasonal affect disorder. And so this year, I'm just taking this stuff. I also have a SAD lamp. It's over there. I'd show it to you, but they're expensive. Vitamins are so expensive, and I don't think most people can afford them. And so, yet again, rich people get all the delicious fancy, and poor people are left to, grind out a hellish existence. So, although I will say this, I do take, I think, 40 milligrams of citalopram. Citalopram is an antidepressant. I think the brand is Cerelix. I don't know. It's citalopram is the name. I don't know. Look it up. I've been taking it for years, and it is cheap. I do highly recommend that. If you have health insurance, and you feel the slightest bit of blueness, I'm all for drugs. 100%. We are drugs. Like, our whole existence, our whole perspective on the world is how the drugs are properly flowing naturally in our brain. And so, you know what I'm talking about. Like, when you are depressed, you could be happy 1 minute and depressed the next, and nothing has changed. Okay, Aaron. Finally, somebody that knows what they're talking about. So, Aaron says, vitamins only work if you have a deficiency of the particular vitamin. Okay, if not, then they're just expelled because your body nowhere to store them. My pee changes color. It looks more like, and I think it's because of the bee, maybe? I think it's the bees. It looks like frickin' Mountain Dew. Okay, Brandy says, I believe they can be dangerous in some cases because they're not regulating them. Right! We don't really know what's in them anymore because companies have to be shifty. Yes, that's true. So there's, oh, you sent it on the messenger. Okay, thank you. I'll definitely check it out, Robin. Thanks, buddy. So there's that, right? Like, regulations are all different. So I think Brandy's 100% correct that, like, vitamin people can just throw whatever they want in these things because they're called vitamins. And I think a lot of people are like, they're vitamins. They must be healthy. And who knows what's in them, right? I mean, who knows? Who knows? And so, yeah, like, so I guess what I would have to do is I would need to go get a vitamin deficiency test, I suppose, see what I'm deficient in, and then take the vitamins. But if Aaron's right, which I have no reason to not believe is right, buy standardized vitamins. What the heck is a standardized vitamin? Let me look that up. Okay. What is a standardized vitamin? Standardized means that manufacturers ensure every batch of their products is produced in a consistent way with the same ingredients and same concentration of ingredients. Usually the term refers to extracts from plants, like herbal medicines, and contains a specific percent. Yeah. So that is a good idea. I can't believe that that's something I need to be concerned about, but you're right. Learned a lot about vitamins in med school. In med school? I didn't know you went to med school. Wow, the things I learn. Okay. The prenatal vitamins make you sick, huh, Faith? Wow, I have to go get the gummies. I heard there are better ones than the ones they prescribed. I got to get tested? That's more money. I can't imagine my health insurance paying for the test. I'm getting a new, my health insurance that I had this year went from, I think, $1,200 to $1,700 a month. I did get a savings from healthcare.gov, but $1,200 is a lot. And so now I'm trying, it was a gold plan from CareSource. Now I'm doing something it's called Ambetter from Buckeye, and it's an HSA, so it's a health savings account. Ugh, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. It means they can't use the extra unnecessary crap. Yeah, okay, that's good to know, Aaron. That's really, 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 really good to know. So at any rate, I'm not particularly hopeful of a industry insider Democrat. I do like Joe Biden as a human being. I got to, I have a picture of him and I got to shake his hand, and I'm telling you, that guy is genuinely a nice person. I don't think he is particularly conniving and deceitful. I think the Joe Biden that you see is the Joe Biden you get. But that does not mean that he isn't going to pay off his liberal cronies, It's just different rich people that are going to get paid off. That's all it is, right? I mean, the Republicans pay off one group of rich people, and then the Democrats pay off another group of rich people, and we, just get ground down. Have several licenses in medicine, gave them all up 3 years ago this month. Wow. Oh, my goodness. Too sick to be any good in the medical field. Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness, Aaron. Oh, my goodness. I had no idea. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So at any rate, 2020 really woke me up to, I had a semblance of the brutality of America, but 2020 really showed it to me. Like, a lot of people just blame it all on Trump. And yeah, he's a piece of shit. And but they're all pieces of shit. The only difference is he doesn't care that you think he's a piece of shit. And people love it. They eat it up. Yum, yum, yum. Delicious shit pieces. I love it. Highest voter turnout ever. Right? Is that right? Was this election the highest voter turnout ever? I think that's right. Okay, November 3rd. Okay, here, let's listen. Let's learn. Most modern president elections have a voter turnout of between 50 and 60%, yet voter turnout rates have fluctuated, blah, blah, blah. The highest voter turnout rate ever in the 1870s. Now I don't want to sign up for things I'm reading. The lowest voter turnout was in 1792, when electors from 15 states voted unanimously to re-elect George Washington. Whoa. The states varied in how they selected electors to vote for president. In states where electors were chosen by popular vote, the only people who were eligible to vote were white men. In some cases, only property-owning white men. Jiminy Christmas. That year, a paltry 6.3% of that narrow field of eligible voters, roughly 28,000 people, voted. First time presidential voter turnout surpassed 50% was in 1828 when Andrew Jackson, that was a nut job too, beat incumbent John Quincy Adams. After that, trended upwards, peaking in the late 19th century. The highest voter turnout for presidential race was 1876 when 82% of eligible voters, white and black men, don't you be silly, the young ladies, you can't be voting, cast ballots in the race between Republican Rutherford Hayes and Democrat Samuel Tilden. Wonder who won. Despite the high turnout, black men had recently won the right to vote. 15th Amendment, Southern Democrats were actively suppressing that. Don't forget, it used to be the Democrats were the assholes. The outgoing president was, they still are, they just say different words now. Don't think they're not. The outgoing president was Republican Ulysses S. Grant. That's a great name. Former Union general who had successfully broken up the terrorist Ku Klux Klan. Go, Ulysses! But whose administration was filled with scandals. During this era, Northern voters and Southern black male voters generally favored the Republican Party. That's right. While Southern white men, angered at Reconstruction reforms that had given political power to black men, favored the Democrats. Democrats, anti-black back then. Don't forget it. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic. Don't you ever think I don't love? Anyways. Historian Eric Foner has said that without voter suppression, Republican candidate Hayes probably would have easily won the popular vote. Instead, elections returns showed that he'd lost the popular vote with 47.9% to Tilden's 50.9%, but he'd won the Electoral College by just one elector. Jiminy Christmas, they've been doing this bullcrap for eons. When Democrats contested 19 of Hayes' electoral votes, the U.S. Congress got involved. Hayes was able to keep those electors and become president by promising Democrats he would end Reconstruction. Yeah, let's end it. What was Reconstruction? Hold on, let's learn about that. What was Reconstruction? Isn't it amazing? Was the period in America that lasted between 1863 and 1877 following America. It was a significant chapter in the history of civil rights. Civil rights. Followed the American Civil War, during which attempts were made to redress the inequalities of slavery and its political, social, economic legacy and solve the problems arising from the readmission of the Union, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, pro-black people. Democrats were having none of it. None of it. And Hayes was here to save the day. The South, the Democrats, passing laws to prevent black men from voting and constructing a system of segregation that would become known as Jim Crow. Jesus Christ, what a nightmare. This country. Voter turnout rates decreased in the 20th century. Every presidential election, the voter turnout rate of 80% or higher took place in the mid to late 19th century. They included William Henry Harrison's 1840 election, Abraham Lincoln's 1860 election, Ulysses S. Grant, 1868, James Garfield, 1880, and Benjamin Harris's 1888 election. Those were years of intense partisan divide. Does this sound familiar? Especially over slavery and civil rights for black Americans. Well, they can't yell about slavery anymore. We've kind of stopped them trying to bring back slavery, at least so far, but don't put it past them. Don't put it past them that slavery couldn't come back. Okay? Don't think it couldn't come back. I mean, we're just trading slaves. We just turned them into prisoners, and we're trading like 12-year-old girls on the black market for sex trade. Slavery is alive and well, people. Don't think it's not. Civil rights for black Americans. All the time we have to fight about rights for black Americans in this country. And why? We brought them over here as slaves, and then we bitch about it. God, people are assholes. In the 20th century, voter turnout peaked during the first presidential election. In 1900, the year Republican William McKinley won re-election. Blah, was 73. Oh, this is so boring, so boring. Okay. What you need to know is when black people stand up for their rights, people get pissed. Do you feel me? Do you feel me? Are you cool with it, Aaron? I'm good. Okay. I love you, Aaron. You're wonderful. President is the puppet master on the pulpit. Nicely said, Brandy. Nicely said. Do you see a trend? When black people, when somebody gets a sense that black people might actually get some more rights, people get pissed. It's been the way of America since the beginning. Except when they had no rights and everybody was happy. Of course, it's black people. That no good Republican, Abraham Lincoln. He was a moderate. He didn't want to end slavery. All he wanted was no more slavery to the West. The South was pissed at that because then they felt it was going to be uneven. And then things got really heated. And then he became the anti-slavery guy. And the Civil War. Do you see a pattern? America hates black people. At least half of them do. The other half rarely stand up for them. They sit quietly on the sideline, muttering under their breath. And they let black people who have been oppressed and beaten, literally beaten and enslaved. Now they're enslaved in our prisons. Fight their own battles. We just sit back and watch in our manicured lawns and our fancy suburban houses where we don't live near any black people. And we say, that's not right. You know, I'm not racist. I'm not racist. It's not right what they're doing. But I'm not racist. It's always prefaced or followed up by, I'm not racist. Oh, you're racist. Anybody that says they're not racist is super racist. You can't say it. But now, now I've told you that. I told you the secret, and so now you won't say you're not racist. But you're still racist. Do you know? Okay, do we need to have this conversation? No, we don't. You get it. You're racist because you support racist systems. That's all. That's all. You don't have to, hate black people to be racist. You can just ignore black people. That's being plenty racist. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. And employing our immigrants for pennies on the dollar. Yeah, don't forget immigrants. Did you guys see what they're doing in Texas with prison inmates? Hold on. Texas prison inmates' corpses. Oh, darn it. Got to go faster. Prison inmates' corpses. Google will know what I'm saying. They know. Here it is. Isn't that amazing what Google knows? I love being in a world where I can just say stupid words and Google's like, oh, you mean this? I'm like, yeah. Texas inmates paid $2 an hour to move COVID-19 victim bodies. And the only reason they got $2 an hour is because they refused to do it. Texas has a law where they don't pay anything to prisoners. Amid the spike in COVID-19 cases, Texas El Paso County is paying prisoner inmates $2 an hour, which is like billionaire profits for a prisoner. They make, 13 cents an hour typically. Anybody who's been in prison that tell me what you guys are making these days? While prison labor is common practice in the U.S., slavery, the reliance on inmates to handle the task of moving corpses, raising some questions of ethics. That's what's raising questions, not the slavery part of it. The county has 9 inmates who are working to move the bodies of coronavirus victims. Public affair guy from the shelter, Chris Acosta. She described them as low-level offenders, and they're provided full PPE. So don't you worry, you stupid Whiny liberals is what she's saying there. The work is 100% voluntary. Yeah, right. 100% voluntary. Unbelievable. I can't believe these words come out of their mouth. It's paying $2 an hour. You might as well be like freaking CEO of the jail. It's great that these individuals are stepping up and volunteering to assist the community in dire need of help right now. El Paso has 34,000 cases, 1,100 people in hospital, 769 deaths. To be sure, prison labor isn't unusual. Prisons rely on inmates to perform jobs for little or no pay, but the context of relying on inmates to perform risky work sparks concerns. Nothing else ever sparks concerns about inmates. 80,000 Americans, 80 to 100,000 Americans living in isolation. Got any concern for that? No? Okay, let's move on. We've been doing this tough work since Monday before El Paso increased to 10 mobile morgues. I cry for El Paso, says Eric Fingelding. Really? Okay. Sorry about your luck there with that name, Eric. An epidemiologist and senior fellow at the Federation of American Scientists with a name like Fingelding, you got to be good. Fingelding says, I'm sorry to make fun of his name. It's just a bad name. Sometimes you get stuck. Chilling video of El Paso. Chilling! Inmates hired to move bodies. They've been doing this tough work since Monday. Let's watch this chilling work. Oh, it's chilling because it's like, I guess, a cold center. I don't know. Is it chilling? Look, you guys know about the 13th Amendment? You guys know about it? This thing is the biggest sham of American history. What is the 13th Amendment? Check this out. Check this bull crap out. The 13th Amendment, which formally abolished slavery in the United States, passed the Senate in 1864. Okay, yay, we ended slavery. Abraham Lincoln approved it, submitting the proposal amended the state legislature. It was ratified. Everybody's so happy. They said the 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution provides that neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except, there's one little thing, one little exception, just a little one. Don't worry about it now. Don't worry about this. As punishment for crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, of course, duly convicted, shall exist in the United States. And that's how we kept slavery. And it's still alive and well today, ladies and gentlemen. The only reason El Paso is paying $2 is because they're embarrassed. What is the going rate for work in a prison? FPI pays federal prisoners between 23 cents and $1.15 per hour. The average federal prisoner making 92 cents an hour. Inmates, however, keep only a fraction of their wages, as approximately 80% of their 92 cents is withheld for restitution to offset incarceration costs and to support their families. Yeah, right. Restitution. So don't tell me we ended slavery. We have not. We have not. That's usually 30 cents. Yeah, Brandy, right. Let's see. The whole world, says Aaron, should be blind. They wouldn't see color. But actually, even with our eyes open, they're still, yes, that's right. Yeah, it makes me sick too, Faith. And then Brandy says they still run chain gangs in a lot of the southern. Yeah, let's look at that. Let's look at that. Are there still chain gangs in American prisons? So here's some nice pictures of it. See. Okay, here it was then. Chain gang Wikipedia. Which states still use them? Let's go see, shall we? I'm not sure exactly which states use prison labor, but I think it's the majority. Most of the work is contracted through private companies. Last time I saw prison workers in a chain gang alongside the interstate, I was in Alabama. And I bet most of the people were black. But I think they have discontinued in the last 2 years. I might be wrong. Could Google search it? I did Google search it. You're the Google search, Linda. You're my only hope. You're my Obi-Wan Kenobi on this. Come on. What states, if any, still have chain gangs? Sheriff Florida brought back chain gangs. 2013. There they are. According to the New York Times article, 1995, chain gangs have returned to Alabama. Yeah, of course. They picked the white people, of course, and Hispanics, but I guarantee it's filled with black people. They just want you to be like, oh, look, see, we chain up our white women too. See, what is a chain gang? It's like where they put them all on a chain and then they run them out onto the side of the road to clean up trash and other bullcrap. So, so here it is. Aaron says, I have a dear friend unjustly incarcerated here in Ohio. He got 23 cents an hour for working there. So that's the thing. So you see how they do it? It says here, this is how they got around it. Wait, this is how they got around it. Except as punishment of a crime, whereas the party will have been duly convicted. So if you just make heinous crimes, stupid crimes like smoking marijuana, there you go. You got as many slaves as you need. And you know who's getting rich on it? Rich white people who run the prisons. It's the exact same thing. It's a plantation, but not as pretty anymore. At least, I don't know. At least the thing I saw, plantations had a big, nice white house where they tortured and beat black people. Now they just make cement walls with bars and torture and beat black people. It's not as pretty anymore. But we're cool with it. I know that. I know we're cool with it because we're all happy Joe Biden is our president and not that no good Barack Obama. No good Barack Obama. No, we loved him too. That no good Donald Trump. I mean, Donald Trump was an asshole. Joe Biden will rape and pillage with a smile on his face and won't talk about it. They make them grow their own food and work the land and keep animals to feed them. Wow, Alabama and Arkansas, says Brandy. Self-sustaining prisons. Yeah, 23 cents for your friend, Aaron. We have a lot of work to do in America. Ooh, can I show you something? I've been very happy with the protesters here in the United States, but it ain't nothing like how they do it in the real world. Ain't nothing how they do it in the real world. Here, hold on. 1 second, please. 1 second, please. Let me show you this. You see what's going on in Guatemala these days? Look at this. Guatemala yesterday, ladies and gentlemen. They're burning down the parliament. They're burning down the parliament. Do you know why? Because the Congress approved a budget cut that hurt poor people and protected capitalists and politicians. Okay? When are we going to wake up in America and realize that's exactly who we are? We do everything to hurt poor people and protect capitalists, and then we're outraged when somebody comes and marches on a street and says mean words. When are we going to wake up? How did we become such posers? They got us running scared, people. Remember seeing chain gangs while traveling on vacation with your families in the 70s. No way. I don't know if I've ever seen a chain gang. I can't recall. We So what happened, in my opinion, my professional opinion, we were the country of rugged individualism and, don't tread on me and all that good stuff. And then we became the country of whiny individualism. Like, don't make me wear a mask. Don't make me, remember when George Bush Jr. during the Iraq War told us how we could help? He said, go buy shit. He literally told us to go buy things. You want to help America? Go buy things, he said. That's when I knew America had fallen. When the only thing a president was willing to risk was to tell Americans to go buy things they do anyways. Anyway, just buy more, he said. Do you remember? Don't ask what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. We don't live in that country anymore. People are outraged about stupid crap. We're outraged about masks as we can't afford health insurance for our family. Okay? We can't afford housing for our family, and we bitch about masks. And they love it. They love it. They're just like, oh, yeah. You see those hippie liberals over there? Go kill them. They're the ones making you wear the mask, not me. That's what they're doing. They're like, go kill the liberals. Go kill the liberals. They're making you wear the mask, not me, man. Yeah, I hate masks too. And then you can't afford to eat or get health insurance in this country. I'm not saying everybody needs to get free health insurance, but they should be able to afford health insurance. And the problem is, the puppet masters are saying, we don't make us pay a livable wage. This is a capitalist country, and don't tread on me. To which the politicians are like, yes, massa. I will not be treading on you. I know that's right, because I like your money. Let's see. He works for a Sunday phone call to his wife. Never sees that 23 cents. Doesn't even see the 23 cents. In Marion County, Ohio, they release you with a bill for your incarceration. What? This goes on your credit if it's not immediately paid. That ruins people's lives even more than their crimes. Wow. Their ability to get housing and jobs is list over credit. It's a big problem. Inmates, I believe, are trying to fight the state on this. Wow. We have not ended slavery. It is alive and well in the institutions of America. We just call them prisoners now. It's the same thing. You can go to jail for anything in America, okay? My brother is incarcerated there. Wow. We have a lot of work to do. And so if you've been following me, some of my liberal friends get upset when I stand up for Donald Trump supporters. But the reason I'm doing that is to try to get you guys off of the idea that the people are the enemy. If you are liberal, Republican people are not your enemy. They are in the same boat as you. If you are Republican, the Democrats are not your enemy. They are in the same boat as you. The only people that are not in the same boat are the oligarchs, the rich people, and the politicians. And that is why they're burning down Parliament in Guatemala, because they understand it and we don't as a society. It is the politicians and the oligarchs. Do you know the word oligarch? Let's learn it. What is an oligarch? An oligarch, ruler of oligarchy. Oh, I hate when they do that. A very rich business leader with a great deal of political influence. A lot of times you see it in Russia, but it is here. It is America. It is America. And we are buying it. We are buying it. We have every right to burn down our own houses of government because they are raping us. They are starving us. They have created a system where the rich get all the money and can do whatever they want as we grovel on our knees for crumbs. And they have convinced us that it's the people on the other side of the political aisle that are doing it to us. We must wake up. We must wake up. And don't tell me that you're not a prisoner in America. You're just a wage slave. You're running scared. Because you, if you're lucky, if you can believe this, if you're lucky, your employer is paying your health insurance. But the only reason they're doing that is to enslave you. Do you understand? Joe Biden is the enemy. Donald Trump is the enemy. Your fellow brothers and sisters in America are not your enemy. They are your comrades. They are your alliance. They are who you need to make real change in America. I like my mask too. Oh, you were, Robin? 135-806? You weren't by chance in the original Mansfield, were you? That old one? Did you go to the old one? I've learned a lot. Aw, thanks for saying that, Faith. I love you. Okay, Robin says, when I did my time in Ohio, I got $18 a month and $23 cash out the door, and that was in the 80s. Wow. Did you get to keep all that money? Look, but you never want to do haunted. Is that right? Oh, yeah, I bet Robin never wants to do the haunted one. Another side of the story, if you only focus on low pay while incarcerated, it sounds unfair. Keep in mind that they were imprisoned for committing a crime against society, maybe against your family. Our tax dollars, okay, Bill, let's talk about this. Okay, let's listen to, maybe against your family. Our tax dollars pay for them to be in prison. Okay, hold on. They got 3 free meals a day, also essentially free medical care and free meds. They have access to gyms and recreation. The only thing that they are forced to do is clean up after themselves, and some may pick up trash on the side of the highway. They also have access to completing a GED and getting a bachelor's degree and certification. If we are being honest, here we go. In many cases, they are better off than many poor, law-abiding citizens. Robin? Would you rather, let's listen to Robin. Bill, were you in prison? I want to know if Bill was in prison. Robin was in prison. Robin, would you rather be in prison or would you rather be freezing to death in a tent in Ohio? I'll wait for the answer. Okay. Robin, would you rather be in prison or would you rather be freezing to death in a tent in an Ohio winter? Tent or prison? Okay? So, I'll wait for the answer. But I did 6 years for trafficking in marijuana. There you go. Now, thank you for saying that, Robin. Okay. So, now, my friend from my best friend from elementary school is spending life in prison for pedophilia. Okay? He was abused as a kid. Okay? A tent. There it is. Okay, Bill, I want you to internalize that answer. And Robin can expound on it if you want. Yeah. So, okay. So, and I don't want anybody to be angry at Bill. This is a great position. We need to talk about it. Now, I'm going to tell you, I have never once, not one time, met a single homeless person, no matter how cold, how starving, how beat that would prefer to live in prison. And the reason is because freedom is a base human need. Okay? If you have a choice of freezing to death on a street or living in prison, you will pick the street almost every time. Now, I'm sure there's people that are, like, obviously there's people that get institutionalized and they become comfortable. But you need to understand that taking away a person's freedom is torture. And sometimes it's needed. Like my friend who is spending life in prison for pedophilia. Now, you see, I told you he was abused as a child himself, and that can explain why he went on to abuse. There's a lot of reasons, but that does not condone it, okay? That does not mean that what he did was right. Understanding something and condoning, I was just my freedom over anything. So can you understand that, people? Here's a man that is telling you he spent prison time, and I know for a fact because I was with him. I didn't live with him, but I spent several winters with Robin as he lived freezing in a tent, and I'm telling you he will pick the tent every time. Okay? We must have prisons. Because my best friend from elementary school, I do not believe should be on the street. Okay? I just don't. I don't get a sense that he has been why can't I remember that word? Where he's been revitalized, rehabilitated. Been rehabilitated. Okay? He, I don't think, should ever leave prison. Now, he does he gets 3 square meals a day, he does exercise, and that's great. But I'm telling you, he wants out of there like you can't imagine. All of his thoughts are on how to get out of prison, how to get out of prison, how to get out of prison. Okay? So we cannot assume that we understand what it's like being in prison unless we've been in prison. He said a tent before you even asked. Did he really? Wow. And even if you meet someone that says, you know what, I'll live in prison, that doesn't mean it's a study. That just means that person would prefer to live in prison, and I'm sure we could find somebody like that. But what I'm telling you is I've never met a single person that would prefer to be in prison. Not one. In fact, I know a guy that spent most of his life, I'm talking about Randy Robin. Randy is the only person I have ever known that says he would prefer to live outside than in a house. He's the only one that I've ever said that. And he does because he spent most of his life in prison and he's highly claustrophobic. He does not like being indoors. He prefers to live outdoors because he's claustrophobic because he was in prison so long. The only one that I've ever heard to say that. So we cannot make ourselves feel better that prison is a place that it protects these people and takes care of them. It is robbing them of a fundamental human need, okay? We got to understand that. But like I said, my friend who is a pedophile needs to be in prison. And many people need to be in prison. But does Robin need to spend 6 years in prison for selling marijuana, which is now sweeping the nation to be legal? Was it right? And there are people spending life in prison for selling marijuana. Okay? Right, Brandy. Some people have mental illness that prevents them from being safe from regular freedoms. Most just need proper treatment. Yes. There are people that mentally are dangerous, and they should not be on the street. There are people that need to be incarcerated, okay? primarily to protect us from them. Okay? Or to punish them. That's fair, right? I guess that's fair. Like, we're like, look, we got to have laws, all right? And if you keep drinking and driving, even though you've never hurt anybody, you got to go to jail for a while. This is your 5th time. You got to go. I love my home. I'll never jeopardize what I have now. See there? So, yeah, being indoors, man, it's amazing. Keep in mind that people don't choose to go to jail. It's just a consequence of behavior. Most people don't want to be in prison. Right. I agree, Bill. But what I'm saying is, I think it's controversial about what is just, is where I'm getting at. Do you feel it was just that Robin spent 6 years in jail for selling marijuana? It's debatable. Okay? I think it's a little heavy-handed. Okay. How long are people spending in prison for selling marijuana? Let's find this out. Here we go. Life in prison for selling marijuana. The people new pot laws forgot. So interesting, right? This is in 2015. At least 67 people are in prison right now, sentenced to die there for selling marijuana. According to the best available data, until last week, Jeffrey Mizanski was one of them. Man, I feel great, says the great-grandfather. He was contemplating his first weekend free as a free man in more than 20 years. His sentence was commuted in May from life without parole to simple life. And on Tuesday, he walked out of maximum security Missouri prison. Someone helped him dial his wondrous new thing called a smartphone. Do you have children, he asked. The day a child is born, that's what this feels like to me. I finally made it to freedom. Isn't that wonderful? Do you have children, he asked. I got to say it again more correctly. Do you have children, this guy asked. The day a child is born, that's what this feels like for me. I finally made it to freedom. Mizanski received a harsh sentence in 1996 after he was convicted of trying to distribute 6 pounds, that's a lot, of Mexican marijuana. There was no violence involved, no selling to kids, but Mizanski had 2 previous convictions for possession of selling pot totaling 10 ounces. Okay? So, with $22 billion in legitimate sales expected by 2020, pot has become a consumer product like any other. But new laws have done nothing for people with past convictions, including some with sentences heavier than rape or murder. All right, so how do you feel about that, Bill? Of course it's a choice. They can choose not to do the crime. That's the choice and the chance they take. Yes, exactly. So look, what I'm getting at is the war on drugs, ultimately. So truthfully, some people cannot prevent their behaviors due to mental illness if they're not making strides to create adult mental illness. Yeah, we're adding to the issue. That's right. So what I'm suggesting the conspiracy is, that I'm laying forward is, we found out that we no longer could just have slaves. But if somebody was just, convicted of a crime, then you can have slaves. So if you guys have not seen 13, is that the documentary? Is that what it's called? Documentary 13. Is that what it's called? Hold on, Google now. 13th, okay? 13th. If it's rainy, watch this today, will you? Really interesting. Filmmaker Ava DuVernay explores the history of racial inequality in the United States, focusing on the fact that the nation's prisons are disproportionately filled with who? African Americans. And who were slaves? African Americans. Do you see? You see what's maybe going on here that maybe we should at least ask the question about? That's all I'm saying. Okay? Black people are not the enemy. The machine is the enemy. The machine is the enemy. Donald Trump supporters are not the enemy. Joe Biden supporters are not the enemy. The machine is the enemy. The oligarchs are the enemy. The politicians are the enemy. Joe Biden is the enemy. Okay? We got to learn that. We have to learn that Joe Biden is the enemy because he is propagating all of this. He is propagating housing that is too expensive, healthcare that is too expensive. I'm not saying it needs to be free. But $1,700 for health insurance was what I was going to pay. It's too damn high. And I have deductibles. It's not like it was free. It's not like, well, then if you pay $1,700 a month, you can go to the doctor all you want, and whatever happens to you, we'll take care of you. No. Big deductibles. Faith says, another pretty thing about the law is when it comes to, petty thing about it is petty theft. Interesting. Some say someone is starving and they steal a pack of crackers and the police get called. Okay, this is great. This is good, Faith. That shows up on their record for 7 years. Can't find a job in a store for 7 years. Wow. Yeah, you can go to jail for a year on that. The percentages are low, though. People in today's day just want and steal for what they want. If they can't afford it and want it, they take it. The entitlement idea that they are allowed. I do not believe that all laws are fair, says Bill. Okay, that's cool. Especially marijuana laws. That's good. Most laws are determined via our legal system, which is supposed to reflect the best interests of society. Right on. They don't always do that, and hopefully unfair laws get adjusted. That's all I'm saying too, Bill. So what I want to try and do is have these kinds of constructive conversations. And I'm guilty of it. I start yelling at people on Facebook too, okay? Like I'll post something that I know will get somebody's goat, and then I start yelling at people and they yell at me and blah, 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 blah. But you can see here, look, I don't know what Bill's political stance is, and I don't even care. But Bill and I agree, okay? Now, he maybe leans a little more to law and order, perhaps, than I do, you know. And I know Bill probably would not agree with what I'm going to say right now, but I'll say it. I think all drugs should be legal and regulated. All drugs. All drugs should be legal. I'm going to make a song. Ooh, I'm going to make a song. All drugs should be legal. Because, yeah. I mean, you know what Joe Biden did, right? He made crack 100 times more of offense than the same amount of cocaine, right? Wonder where Omi is today. Oh, yeah. I've been worried a little bit about Omi. She's been going through some stuff. I hope she's okay. I hope she's okay. But that's debatable, right? I mean, should all the drugs be legal? I mean, look, that's an easy sentence for me to say, and a complicated rollout. How about this? I actually prefer this. Forget it. Not legal. Decriminalized. Sex work should be decriminalized. Drug use should be decriminalized. They're not going anywhere. Same and safe. Yeah, with same escorted. Yes. I like decriminalization. I at least start there, right? Look, could we at least start there? If a woman wants to use her body to make a living, who am I as a white man, no less, to have any opinion on that? Who am I to have any opinion on that? Unbelievable. Because what, you're morally shocked by it? You should be morally shocked by the country we live in. It's unbelievable that we're the most religious country in the world, and we are who we are. The government is already making money from drugs that they scared over. Yeah, they're allowed to a point. Well, and the funny thing is, Brandy, what they do is they get you off of, street drugs, and then they sell you Suboxone and that bullcrap to be on for life. So they just get you on they sell you the other drug. It's madness. It's not about anything other than money and morality. People are morally outraged by drugs. They're not morally outraged by people living on the street. They're not morally outraged by children starving in the richest country in the world. They're not morally outraged by that. They're judging you because they don't like the drug you do. And meanwhile, the most dangerous drug, the most deadly drug, by far, you think you know what I'm going to say, unless you heard me say it before. The worst drug in the world, by far, without a doubt, 100%, the most dangerous drug is sugar. Sugar, 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 sugar. Sugar is killing us at a higher rate than anything else. And we love it, man. It's not drugs as long as it's prescription. That's right, Brandy. And we just need to wake up to this stuff. All I'm asking is we wake up and we decide and we understand who is our enemy. Okay? And they're getting in Guatemala. They're burning down the parliament because they're pissed that they're favoring the rich people and hurting the poor people, which is the American way right now. And we're not burning down shit. We're not even marching about it. We're just yelling at each other about bullshit, about masks. They got us all gummed up on masks. As we starve to death. I got to go, but I want to tell you this. I was at the Akron Canton Food Bank. I go every Friday. They were giving away 1,100 turkeys. At 2 o'clock, I was there at 1. They were giving away 1,100 turkeys, and people were in line starting at 6 a.m. for a turkey. And I'm telling you, that line was easily a half mile long, if not longer. I don't even know. Long. And they were still an hour out. People were in line at 6 a.m. in the richest country in the world for a frickin' turkey. We're starving out here. And people are leading these lives of quiet starvation and desperation, bravely sucking it up as we bicker at each other about masks. Unbelievable. People, I love you. Robin, I love you, buddy. You're a badass. You're all a badass. I love you, I love you, I love you. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope you do something nice. I hope you eat the food that you like on Thanksgiving. What's your favorite food? I can't even wait. I'm starving right now. I got to eat something. I got to go eat something. Did I say I love you? Oh, yeah, I love you. Okay, bye. I'll see you.